First of all, this is cool. You're going to like this. They used to have sheet music publications. This was the musical world. This is a scan of it. And this was the issue. This issue, regret. And I just love this picture of who knows who drew this. There's a scene from The Sound of Music that this is definitely evoking. I really like that idea. Who knows what's going through her head? And I just love, it's like the bedroom and there's the nun in there. But if you were to read this, you'd see like, subscribe to, I don't know, this is a bad translation, but something like, hey, worldwide subscribers to the musical world or something like that, you get some free perks or something. All of these kinds of pieces of music and other fantasies by the best composers, but the best modern composers. This is a reverie for piano, and it's by this composer, Giovanni Luigi Bazzoni. I've been playing around with it. This is the original. I made you something. This is the final that you can have. You can download this, and I put good fingerings in, and I think that that's why I was drawn to this piece. Like, as I kept playing with it, I kept playing around with it, and I thought, this is a really good piece for teaching. This is a good piece for learning because it demonstrates some things that I think you need to see demonstrated on the sheet music and that fit the hand. So when you look at it, does it look a little bit intimidating? Yes, it can look a little bit intimidating, but we're going to kind of go through phrase by phrase, and I'll show you it's way less intimidating than it looks. Maybe? Little things like when you just recognize that this is just one chord, this is just one arpeggio, and this is the one arpeggio. Little things like that. Just a E flat major arpeggio, right? And I like that 1, 2, 4. You know, don't try to. Here's the thing: when people think arpeggio, they think put your thumb on the root, and then with the black key triads like this, you can't really swing that because you've got your thumb on all these black keys. Don't do that. Just go, what's the white key? Put your thumb on the white key and then figure it out from there. So this E flat major triad, it just feels really good as long as you can figure out where your 2 and 4 go. That's one way to practice it. Like thumb, chunk. So you've got this. Same thing in the A flat major. Right, that's not so bad. Just going on. You want to sound really atmospheric. Do nicely voiced tenths like that. They just sound so ethereal, otherworldly. Ethereal is the wrong word because then you might get the impression that we're playing other kinds of music, I think. But just bringing out these top notes, because all of these intervals between the top note and the left hand, it is a tenth. I guess it opens up further. I just was thinking tenths, but it's not all tenths. A lot of them are tenths. And then rolling. And then I think of like just ping that last note at the top. Roll into the top. Roll into the top. And again, roll into the top. And I just find that a really lovely little phrase to practice. And that is what made me just fall in love with this already. You know, the rest of the piece, I'll take it. I wouldn't say I'd take it or leave it. I'll take it. But that little phrase, I was like, oh yeah. It's so tender. And when I go back to the picture of the beginning, I just think, oh, how sensitive this sister is being. Thank you, mother. She's being so sensitive to whatever is being regretted in that moment. Here we go. Okay, don't get intimidated by this either. It's just an arpeggio. And little things like tre vite, which means like go really fast. When I get a direction like go fast, I'm like, hey, I'll do what I want, okay? I'll go fast when I'm ready. It's up to me. And so you got a couple options here. I give you 2 options for fingerings. You can do the top version or the bottom version and then go to the top. It just depends on how comfortable you are getting your right hand all the way down here. Because if you want, you can just play this first note with your left hand and play all the rest of that with your right hand. See? And if I so take the top fingering, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a B flat 7 chord. And then at the very top, skip the root and play the 9th. And it's funny, like, I like the sound of that 9th. It might have been a typo in the original. It really just might have been like, hey, we got carried away because there's all of these space note things there. It might have been a typo. Space, 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 space. They might have meant that. Just this note right here. They might have meant that. I like the 9th. So let's keep it. All right hand if you want. Back down. And you could just leave your left hand on that B flat there and play it all the way when you get back to it. Or you can take a couple of these notes and play it with your left hand. You could play even just that much if you want, or a whole up to the first thumb note of the right hand. So the way you redistribute that for your hands is up to you. You get to make the decision. It's up to you. I like to go and then I'm gonna clear the pedal. I'm gonna like pedal all the way and I'll clear it right there. That's what I like to do. And then we get on, that was just the introduction. Then we get into the piece, which is like, okay. The nun starts singing here at some point. It's profound, it's patient, it's monastic. It has a profoundly long-term principle as a solution for whatever it is that you regret. That's why it sounds kind of boring to start. Okay, so that's our first little phrase. Just 4 measures. It's just E flat major. And if you can get this thing going with a lot of this kind of pivoting of the wrist, this idea, just get that 3rd finger on that black key there and hinge and practice touching your pinky to the E flat and thumb to that G. And then yes, you can get a little bit of up and over and down and around as you go through. Stick your thumb out like that the whole time and see if you get tense in your hand a little bit. You will. You're gonna get tense right in there. So when you play it, reach, let it come down, because you're trying to just relax your thumb here. You'll cut back on so much tension in your hand if you do that. Isn't it nice when you've got just like a repeating pattern, and it's not until here that you've got anything different in the left hand. And all it was just, instead of this, it was this. Right? Nothing different. 2 notes different. Okay, and And then you just gotta play with the right hand to get this nice roll. Notice I do the same thing with my thumb. I just kind of let it come off. I liked 2-3 here. If you want more fingerings, 2-3. Again, with that roll, let your thumb just whoop, go away. All right, quite like the first one. Okay, don't do what I did with like I was in E flat land, and then I got here, I forgot this note. So you might circle it. Give yourself a little indication that there's a note change there. And then you'll probably want to put a 3 right here just to remember that your hand has to come up over. It just has to shift over this black key right here. That third finger has to lift up and go over that black key. Okay, I'm gonna start midway through right here. That's a faster chord inversion. Okay, nice big fat sound on this next phrase. It's kind of like, hey, listen, I'm talking here. From years of experience, hey, listen up. We've got years of proving what I'm about to tell you. What I'm about to tell you. I don't know, I'm making a story about what is that poor person? What does she regret? I just feel so bad for her, you know? All right. Okay, so you got some little grace note things happening here. Little grace notes. Roll. And then this idea. Play the same note, different finger, right? It's a lot of fun to get that. This one's a little bit harder because you have 5-4-3 happening on this. You can do it. It just curve that pinky a little bit, right? Get that pinky a little bit curved and see if you can get that touch to it. All right. Okay, going on. We're gonna start here. Measure 17. And I love these like 2-note slurs. 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 2. And I like to have a little down up thing with my wrist dropping, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, down. And you have to eventually make it so that it's hardly anything in your hand. Just diddle, 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 diddle. It's hardly anything. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This little guy's a little hard to bring that thumb, because you got these 2 notes that are really close and then your thumb has to come under a third. That's a big thing. Oh, arpeggios, by the way, when you're doing an arpeggio, this is it. That's it. And notice when I make this motion, what part of my thumb can you see? It's my thumbnail. You can see the nail. So when you play some of these arpeggios, like the E flat one, if I'm showing you my thumb, I'm actually playing it on the thumbnail, and that's okay. That's how I do arpeggios. This one, turn it over. You can see the fingernail. Play it on the fingernail and don't slip. because you got to do a little bit of that, right? And then you get some of the grippy part of the side of your finger. And then you got to do this lift and land thing happening here. So yeah, that guy's a little bit hard, right? And then lift and then we've got these octaves. Like, I mean it. Like, if I'm gonna reinforce something, I will write it in octaves. That means I'm serious. That means that we're really digging in here. So relax. And I gave you some fours here. If you've got the hands for fours, you can play 4. And I guess it's like really fortissimo down to pianissimo. Is that schmaltzy? I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know what that word means. Well, I've heard people say that music is schmaltzy. I've heard people say that about a variety of different kinds of music. Is that schmaltzy? Okay, so you might be seeing this little this guy. Honestly, this arpeggio is harder than this. Okay, but what I'm going to tell you is that there's something that's impossible about it. As you play up, so this is an arpeggio and then descending with a scale. So you've got arpeggio means open your hand, and it's a big arpeggio because it's a ninth. And then you have to compress the hand and get into scale playing position. And if you just know the key signature, B flat, A flat, E flat, right? Chunk it and just go, right? Let me know if you want help with scales. The part here that's impossible is going from arpeggio to scale. So can you just get to that F starting and just try to even it out? And what you might have to do is a little bit of this, right? Did you hear what I did? And just a little bit of a pause right at the top. I'm all for use expressive behavior in the give and take of time to manipulate people into thinking that you actually didn't need time to prepare your hand to mechanically do the thing that you're going to do. So take full advantage of the fact that people are listening to music and they don't actually care about mechanically how you're doing it, and they actually don't even care why you're giving something some time. Like I don't think that there's that level of analysis. They're just feeling. So use that feeling as a way to protect yourself emotionally from like, I can't actually do this because I'm going to be not fast enough to get to here. You know, and get it to the point where it's like there's a little bit of expression there holding that top note. And there's like a little bit of like slow down into it and come out of it. And it's just because it's hard for the hand to do. Here we go, going on. And then another one, and this one's easier because it's just a scale. I didn't have to do any trick to get into the scale. And you go, okay. One of the things I like about this piece is that it's got these ledger lines. And I think that's why this is a fun piece to see, because you're not going to learn ledger lines unless you play something in the key of E flat, A flat. Those are the ones, because if you're, I don't know if even A is the way to go, because A would be here. Well, yeah. Once you get up here, A major is all these ledger lines, except for here, okay? E flat major is going to be on all these ledger lines. Okay, so E flat. And I guess the same is true about E major and A major, but for some reason, I'm just thinking of like, this is the line and it's flat. It's like it's hanging on. I'm imagining flats as being like hanging from the ledger line. And in A, it'd be like, here's a C, but it would be like C sharp. And it's like, just kidding, C, but it's higher. You have to go higher than it. I don't know. There's some psychological thing there about flats and sharps. I just think if you play some pieces in 3 and 4 flat key signatures, A flat, E flat, you're going to see these ledger lines way up in here and you're going to get used to it. And you might go that, I don't know what that is. Well, that's just an A flat, right? A flat, A, C, E, G, A again. And you just kind of get used to like, what does it look like? It's kind of like when you see the letter E, you don't stop and count the number of horizontal lines. You just see, it's like you don't go, that's E, that's F. You didn't have to go, how many horizontal lines were there? Let's see, 1, 2, it's an F. I know that because I counted the horizontal lines. It's an F. Capital letter F has 2 horizontal lines. Capital letter E has 3. You just see it. And when you can start to see ledger lines, especially this one, E flat, and this one, C. If you can see that, then you're going to be good. That's my little thing on ledger lines. We're going. And then as we play, and then more of this. Okay, so there's so much room there to play as slowly as you want. And especially since our composer Bazzoni has wrote triple P. I would just like take all the time I want. And I'm definitely doing some of this, and then relax to the next phrase here. Just like the beginning. I'm so sorry I scared you. I just imagine the conversation. I'm so sorry I scared you with what I just said. Coming back to the main principle, the main old thing that I can always rely on in a time like this. Okay, and then you get into this kind of lots of too many rolls, right? Like I have to say exactly. I just must. I must say, and I can't say verily, verily. Really, really. I just mean what I'm saying, and gently. Again. Right? Don't you get that sense of like, okay, really? All of these? It's just stressing. Really, like really, really. 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 Okay? And this is probably the hardest part. Okay, and when you're doing octaves like this and you've got something in between, right? You've got an octave here and you've got your second finger there. What's going to happen is you're going to get the claw. You're going to be like, And what you got to do is relax the thumb as you come off of these octaves. Okay? And then as you do this, you'll have to practice this because this is not an easy phrase. If you want to make it easier, you can just do 5-1 and 4-1 and just play the top 2 notes. Just play a sixth. Cheater. Be a cheater. And you can do that if you want. If you want the whole octave with this second finger here, first of all, I'm doing a lot of feeling with just that finger. That's how my hand knows where it is. But if I'm playing octaves, I'm gonna let my hand bloop, burp, right? It just kind of lifts off and returns to neutral. And since you've got these long notes here, relative to the other ones, right? The long ones, do something in your wrist. Okay, and there's okay, and it's all 5 of these that's definitely the hardest. That's the hardest part. So you can, again, manipulate people, manipulate with the time it takes you to say things, right? We do it all the time when we're speaking. Your middle name here, last name with emphasis, just to manipulate whoever we're talking to. Is there anything wrong with what I just did? An unethical amount of expressive time taking. Just to okay, here we go. Just to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna cheat. Okay, here we go. Okay. And then even more. Okay, so there's some stuff that's fun here. This is fun, first of all. Yeah, when you've got like a grace note like that and you're just gonna go over the top and back down to the top note, right? Okay, and then normal chord inversions, but I like to take these 2, 3, 5 fingerings, because if you just play this as a chunk, that's what you got. It's just a triad with an octave. And then here, a 7th chord. So practicing that. Cover. And then you can also just practice. What am I doing? I'm just leaving off this and I'm chunking the chunks of the inversions. Chord. Then add the octave. And then add the break, breaking it up. And then that one thing that's like, if you knew what I was actually doing when I practice, I'm actually not gonna play much. I'll do a lot of this. And it's just like, hey keyboard, just touching. Can I help you? I'm just looking. No, I'm good. Just looking, right? So we're playing, going through the store and just like, like you feel the material. And then the store worker's like, are you going to buy anything? And you're like, no, I'm just here. I'm just looking and touching everything because I'm a tactile person and I have to. So do that. Just touch it, right? You don't have to commit. This looks hairy, but it's not. Right? The first one is like, it's just 8 times. You're just doing the same thing over and over. And it just looks like it's a lot of notes because of this couple of additional horizontal lines that make it maybe visually overwhelming for people. If you know that about reading music, when people look at sheet music, they go, oh my gosh, looks so complicated. And then when you add another horizontal line, it's like even more. Something about horizontal lines just makes us feel overwhelmed. I don't know, is that true? But I will say vertical lines are soothing. I'm totally making this crap up, but just from personal experience, if I look at horizontal lines, I'm like, wow, overwhelming. I can't even like vertical lines. It's like, wow, it's maybe complex, like a bamboo forest. And it's just like, wow, why is that so peaceful? I don't know. But in music, we've got both. We've got horizontal lines like this, and that's, I think, what mostly overwhelms people. The vertical lines, it would be very clear that this is the same thing. You know, you could see this contour if you start to look at it like that, like a little graphic. Okay? You can see the pattern. Okay, you might want a 4 right here. You might want to put a 4 right there. And then so that's the first idea. And I like also that it's got these, I'll do this on the second line here. It's got these diminuendo. And I think what that means is like, play the first one loud. And then back off, like the rest of it is sort of an imprint of what you had just played. Like you've got 4 really strong notes, and then there's an imprint. Okay. And then going on to this. Okay, now that, right? Really profoundly confident on the first 4 notes. And then let your confidence be there and just relax, right? Confident. Right? And there's something about that touch that I'm doing where it's like confident for 1 and then 2 beats of just chill. Just hold your space. It's fine. There's nothing more unconfident sounding than trying to get every single note to come out. Make sense? Like we're really just adding a lot of relaxation to, I could get my left hand a little better. And then, okay. So as I go fast, of course, you know, you got to practice. You got to get practiced for the accuracy of that. But the effect of this section is not that hard. Okay. It's just a lot of, right? It's just big movements. Get some movement going. Okay. And I like this part. We're almost to the end here. Okay, now this is hard because your pinky has all these black keys. And what do you do there? I just want to say, don't forget about the rest of your hand. Don't just stick out your pinky, but I'm going, hey, I've got a little shape here around the side of my hand. A little bit of shape here. There's just a little bit of confidence, but also, don't forget about the rest of your hand, like 3rd finger on that black key. Hey, I'm here. Right? 5th finger. It's round. There's a little shape there. Don't forget about your friends. Okay, we're here. And you'll be way more accurate with that. We're not just like, don't think of it as we're trying to get this little finger onto this little. Don't think about it like that. Think about it as like, I'm doing something hard and I've got the support of loved ones around me. Okay? I can be strong. Pinky can be strong. And then use the rest of your hand. Don't forget about the rest of your hand. Okay? A little phrase here. We're up into the treble clef in the left hand. And then maybe there's no roll on that. Maybe it's... And then this is the same arpeggio as the beginning. Nice long fermata. Just like the beginning. Just like the beginning, this beautiful. Ping that top. Ping the top. Ping the top. Here we go. Soft pedal on. Oh, you see my left leg move over to get the soft pedal. Ritardando assai means a lot of slowing down. Inhale emotionally, right? Feel what it feels like to end a piece like that. I like that. So I've just been playing around with that. Is it hard? It's an intermediate piece. If you want something that's challenging, that's like, is it schmaltzy? I don't know. Is it Italian? I don't know. I just loved the picture. I love the idea of a sheet music magazine that shows up, that gets mailed to you, or you're a subscriber to it. That's what the musical world was. It was a publication that people subscribed to, and it had sheet music. Can you imagine? Do they do that anymore? I don't think they do. I guess there's some like little piano teacher things that have something like that, but not really. That's how they used to get these publications out. It was really great. So people used to sit at home just like with their instrument, like, what the heck? I need some sheet music. Send it over. And they would subscribe to Le Monde Musical. Okay? So there we go. Enjoy that. If you're, I'm just like, we could be done here. I'm going to sign out.